Hello friends, today I'm going to explain Docker. Let's start. So how the world was before Docker. So before Docker, we had virtual machines and we used to deploy applications on virtual machines. So here you can see in image, we have a server where and on top of that we have operating system of the server, and then we have hypervisor, and that hypervisor uh, keeps multiple virtual machines. It manages multiple virtual machines. And if you see here, each virtual machine has its own operating system and supporting applications. So this is the structure of virtual machine if you already do not know. And on one host machine, there could be multiple virtual machines. So what used to happen is we manually used to build our application, and the source code along with configuration we used to deploy on each virtual machine separately, and the configuration has to be set properly on each virtual machine, right? So if you see here, there are three things. One is supporting application has to be same in all virtual machine. The operating system configuration should be same in all virtual machines, and your application configuration should also be same in all virtual machines. Okay, so this was first thing. So first thing was virtual machine, its operating system, its supporting applications, and your application configuration has to be same in all systems. Second, the build, where it has to be maintained, like what are the steps to build, and all the deployment steps, everything has to be have a checklist, and based on that it used to deploy, because if anything missed out, it will not run. So it was a big task, right? Because a lot of things you had to see in checklist, and then it used to deploy. And if something went wrong while deployment, something is not working and you have to roll back, then we used to take the deployed code and to another system, and from another system the backup file we used to deploy here. So this was the full manual thing before Docker. Now let's see what is Docker. So Docker is you can say infrastructure, or it is a tool which facilitate um, kind of virtual machine, but not a virtual machine, in your local, in your system. So on the same host machine you can deploy Docker, and on top of Docker you can deploy your application, as many number of application you want. So it has few concepts and few terminologies. So let's understand that. One is image. So when we build our application, it build, and it builds source code, all its dependencies and all its configuration in one packet, in one repository, in one packet, which is called image. And we can tag that image. Tagging means it's kind of giving a version to the image. So we create a image which has source code, which has all supporting files and configurations, and we can give a version to that and push it to Docker server. Now Docker server is a cloud, so we push here, and then whichever system or the virtual machine, or the our server we want it, we can pull it there, and there also Docker should be installed. So you will pull in Docker, and then you can create containers from that image. Container is a virtual separation for your application. So from that image, basically you are running that many number of instances in such a way that nothing interfere, nothing interact, or nothing uh, create problem for each other, right? It's just fully separation. It's kind of containerization is a separation basically. So you can create as many number of application instance you want, and you can run it from that image. And so Docker server, where we are pushing and pulling image, container is your application, right? So this is three main concepts of Docker. Let's move to next section. And what problem Docker solved, or how the world looks post Docker. So see, here's the image, Docker container. So on our server, we have operating system, and on top of that we have Docker engine. And on Docker engine, we are creating multiple containers. So this is the structure for your visualization. Now, what happened post Docker? So post Docker, we build uh, or we create image from our source code or from our application, and that image basically encapsulate our source code, our supporting files, configuration, everything in one package, and that is called build image, and that is also through some command, right? So you are not doing basically anything. And then we are tagging image, means we are giving a version name, we are attaching some sticker to that, right? And then we are pushing to Docker server, and once image got created, we are pushing to Docker repository, so that when we want or wherever we want, we can pull it from there. And then we go to our server and we put that image and run number of as many number of containers or the number of instances we want. And if a rollback needed, so what you can do is you can uh, pull the older version and run the Docker, run that container. So it is fully automated, right? You are just running few commands and it is great. And this has all its dependencies. So what the problem earlier used to happen is, if one configuration is missing, then it do not runs. And so configuration managing was a very challenging thing. Environment variance or the differences were a very challenging thing. But post Docker, because of it is sharing same operating system and it is packaging all dependencies, that problem get fully solved. It is very fast and it moves only the changes which happen in the recent code. So Docker take care of all your checklist, it encapsulate all dependencies code, everything, and then it's very fast, lightweight, and it's very easy to create as many number of containers you want and destroy as well, very less time, right? Because it's all through command, and that's very fast. I think we completed. So that's all about Docker introduction. Please let me know if you have any query. Thank you.